Our investigators additionally established that Gifty Oware Mensah created and executed a meticulously detailed plan using National Service Personnel allowances as security to obtain a loan of 30,698,218 cedis, 69 pesos.
Yeah, Koti Gifty Oware were trying to do quite.
Yen someone for Nina Kwaba, Ebium Emra Jumadi. So after set, Attorney General Ebeliki info. Efa National Service Ghost Names Scandals no hono enkomo bebre ere freche e ba sesia me no kasei ere pressure e na kwakoto previous government wona na omoye involve no omo da omo na the lives of Gifty Oware and afe no former sports minister enkomo bebre ere freche e ba sesia me no kasei e den e na e koso e wo ho but commander
yeah.
You better whom come
of course,
because Manyan and Tiasa 30 million Ghana cities be ayira.
Yeah,
Nina and say national service no.
Yeah,
amount for faso area or mine sika.
Of course,
just and a yabo mine form.
Yeah,
but then Minimsa young concotian sama Attorney General edit two because in Missouri for no do no be a share.
Yeah,
but Biana Obinia bin share.
Okay,
into the young butcher now Encotian Chemua Attorney General. At the buy, say, so I was when you be a ha. Ubet ask a pesa part no. Now, fear no, what info commander, a babet drop in a chenty. Yenebre, now yentin summer, Attorney General, Ereba Tuja, one involved, Ocean, at the hoopa, and ababa to NPP for be so quick one. Yenya team Rayakoba, information were cheaper.
State fund for their personal gain. This they did in direct collaboration with vendors and other accomplices. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, our investigations have revealed that prior to the commencement of each new service year, the directors would submit to Parliament for approval a budget figure representing the number of prospective service personnel for that particular service year. Consequently, or consistently, these figures were inflated by huge numbers. During the fiscal year, the directors will write to the Minister of Finance requesting permission to utilize excess funds allocated in the budget of the National Service Authority. Once authorized, the directors will transfer the funds into NSA's project account at the Agricultural Development Bank, and under the pretext of executing projects, will divert the funds into private pockets. Another criminal scheme hatched and exploited by the directors and staff is the deployment of ghost names onto the NSA system. Once deployed, the directors will then request that both ghost names and genuine names be transmitted by the head of accounts to the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, that is GIPS, for payment. These payments included payments to EaseWich cardholders procured for the fictitious National Service personnel. Our investigations compared monthly data of verified National Service personnel generated from the Central Management System and submitted to the NSA Accounts Office, and the data of the NSA personnel who were actually paid through the gift system for a period of 6 years. That is from 2018 to 2024. It was established that a total of 587,543 personnel were to be submitted to gifts for payment of allowances. Meanwhile, data from gifts showed that a total of 650,165 personnel were paid, indicating that 63,672 constituted ghost names. These consisted of the following categories of personnel. That is, National Service personnel who were blocked on the CMS system during the registration process. Then National Service personnel numbers that exist in the payment records but do not exist on the Central Management System. And then, of course, NSA or National Service volunteers, and then some management staff and marketplace vendors. Fellow countrymen and women, our investigators additionally established that some of the ghost names were added to the list submitted by vendors, representing the number of service personnel to whom they had supplied items or provided loan facilities, allegedly. When these vendors eventually receive the payments, the directors and staff would then contact the vendors whose accounts had received payments, meet with them, and collect the additional money that had been added to the vendors' payments. For instance, we have conclusively established that after collecting these funds, some of the suspects, such as Gezi, Nyako, and Othing, handed them over to suspect Ose Asibe Entry in cash, and on some occasions deposited the cash into his bank account. Ose Asibe was the chief executive, the director general of the National Service Authority. Some directors, such as Gifty Oware Mensah, created and executed a meticulously detailed plan using NSP, National Service Personnel Allowances, as security to obtain a loan of 30,698,218 cedis, 69 pesos, from the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB, at an interest rate of 23%. She achieved these results by using other people's information to register a company called Blocks of Life Consult without their knowledge or permission. Subsequently, she presented Blocks of Life Consult through in the person of Akwesi Ofori-Mintah to an official of the Agricultural Development Bank, and enlisting her husband, Mr. Peter Mensah, a lawyer, to act as one of the directors or representative of the said company. She told ADB that the company specialized in supplying home appliances to national service personnel and proposed that ADB finance the company to enable it to supply these items on hire purchase basis to the service personnel, with the NSA being responsible for handling deductions and repayments. During the period, Gifty was the acting director, Gifty Oware Mensah was the acting director of the authority. However, on the marketplace of the authority, there was no indication that Blocks of Life was a registered vendor. Within 2 service years, suspect Gifty Oware Mensah used a total of 9,934 ghost names to misappropriate the aforementioned funds. Investigation further established that after ADB transferred the funds into the account of the company, she subsequently transferred the funds into 4 different company accounts with the names of Amiacom, Scaffold, Oche, and Aristo Logistics and Trading. It was further established that suspect Gifty is a director of Amiacom, and Scaffold Company Limited belongs to suspect Abraham Gezi. That between 3rd March 2023 and 24th May 2024, suspect Gifty transferred 22,925,518 Ghana cedis and 69 pesos to Amiacom, 1 million Ghana cedis to Scaffold, 1,572,000 Ghana cedis to Oche, and 5,200,000 Ghana cedis to Aristo Logistics and Training. Investigations, however, established that Eric Nyako, from 2017 until April 2024, and Idrisu Ibn Abubakar, April 2024 to December 2024, were responsible for preparing and transmitting NSP payroll data to GIPS for payment of allowances with the approval of the former NSA Director Generals, Mustafa Yusuf, who is now an MP, Gifty Oware Abuaji, acting from February 2021 to September 2021, and Ose Asibe Entry, September 2021 to January 2025. Without their explicit authority, nothing was possible. In other words, all these transfers could not have taken place without the authorization of the chief executive officers and or the director general, depending on the nomenclature that was used to describe their roles. In the 2022-2023 service year, a total of 8,256,000 Ghana cedis was deposited into an Eastwich account numbered 1177042059, which is registered in the name of suspect Ose Asibe. Investigations show that he personally received these funds. During a search at his residence, the aforementioned e-switch card was found, and we intend to tender it in evidence during the course of the trial. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, our investigations further revealed that another suspect, Haruna Maulaya of Al-Faida Ventures, a vendor in the marketplace, received a total of 21,306,272 Ghana cedis and 43 pesos into his account from 2017 to 2024. Suspect Rose Hamilton of Marine Ventures received a total of 50,750,923 Ghana cedis, 15 pesos into her account from 2017 to 2024. Suspect Isaac Asamani of Option Buy Ventures received a total of 11,458,686 Ghana cedis, 90 pesos into his account from 2027 to 2024. A total payment of 167,554,398 cedis and 50 pesos was made into the account of a savings and loan company, a savings and loan entity between 2019 and 2024. Suspect Sylvia Opari of Silsona, the names of the companies are very interesting. Silsona Ventures received a total payment of 10,746,634 Ghana cedis and 41 pesos into her account from 2021 to 2024. Suspect Jacob Yorsin of Inyasampo Ventures received a total payment of 19,199,638 Ghana cedis and 57 pesos into his account from 2021 to 2024. Suspects Philomena Atta and Stephen Kobina Jemfi of Brainwave Ventures received a total of 17,646,523 Ghana cedis and 80 pesos into their accounts from 2021 to 2024. Suspect Solomon Jomina of Alpharita Ventures received a total payment of 8,236,019 cedis and 67 pesos into his account from 2021 to 2024. Suspect Charles Ahiming of GH Ohetech Ventures received a total payment of 14,235,118 Ghana cedis and 14 pesos into his account from 2022 to 2024. Suspect Kweku Opari Agofa and Prince Agofa Awoku of Fralisa Ventures received a total payment of 9,011,164 and 35 Ghana cedis into their accounts from 2023 to 2024. However, none of the aforementioned vendors provided evidence to the investigative team or to myself to prove that the amounts of money they received corresponded to the items supplied or the loans supposedly made to the National Service personnel. Ladies and gentlemen of the media and my fellow countrymen and women, having concluded our investigations, we'll be filing charges against 12 suspects who worked as directors and staff of the NSA. I've already listed them, but for the abundance of doubt, let me mention them again. These are Mustafa Yusuf, a former executive director, Osea Sibe Entry, former director general, Gifty Oware Mensa, former deputy executive director, Kweku Ohinijan, former Deputy Executive Director for Operations, Abraham Bismarck Gezi, former Internal Auditor, Kweku Dechi Eje, an Accounts Officer, Idrusu Ibn Abubakar, former Head of Accounts, Stephen Kobina Jemfi, who is, we have asked that he should be rearrested because we've discovered some new accounts that, contain some deposits, and so he was picked up this morning. So he is currently also, he's undergoing further interrogation. Koforidua, he's the Koforidua director, then Prince Agbofa Ewuku, a district director, and Jacob Yorsin, Management Information Systems Administrator in the Northern Region. We will also file charges against the following persons who are vendors on the marketplace on the Central Management System of the NSA in the Eastern, Greater Accra, and Ashanti regions. Isaac Osei Asamani, the owner of Stalwart Option Buy Ventures. Charles Ohomening, the owner of GH Ohek Ventures. Philomena Arthur, the owner of Brainwave Ventures. Rose Hamilton, the owner of Marine Ventures. Kweku Opare Agbofa, the owner of Franlisa Ventures. Solomon Jamina, the owner of Afarita Ventures. Haruna Mawulaya, the owner of Alfaida Enterprise. Sylvia Ntriwa Opare, the owner of Silsona Ventures. And then Peter Mensah, a legal practitioner and the husband of Gifty Oware Mensah. We have made the decision to enter into non-prosecution agreements with some of the persons who were involved in this criminal enterprise, especially the vendors, and these have agreed to provide compelling testimonies as witnesses for the prosecution. In this regard, we have agreed not to disclose their names or their details at this press briefing as part of the NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement. Because this is going to inure to the efficiency of the prosecutions that will be mounted. And in every prosecutorial decision making, we have the discretion to take decisions that will inure to the benefit of the Republic. And we have decided in the office, together with the investigators, that some of the marketplace vendors and some other directors and staff who came to us may be serving as prosecution witnesses. Some of them offered to be prosecution witnesses, and we rejected their offers. They came, met with my deputy, we evaluated the evidence and thought that it will be inimical to the entire prosecutorial enterprise if we accepted their offers to serve as prosecution witness. So given the numbers that we're offering to serve as witnesses, it can tell you where we are headed with this investigation. And when the trial starts, with this prosecution, when the trial starts, you'll get to know the evidence that we have meticulously gathered from February, when I took over the oral report and handed them over to NIB, to the present. Having provided this factual background, our position is clear that these persons are reasonably suspected to have committed crimes and shall be charged accordingly with the following crimes: stealing, contrary to Section 1241 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Conspiracy to steal, contrary to Sections 23.1 and 124.1 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Willfully causing financial loss to the state, contrary to Section 179A3A of the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Using public office for profit, contrary to Section 179CA of the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Obtaining public property by false statements, contrary to Section 5 of the Public Property Protection Decree 1977, SMCD 140. Money laundering, contrary to Section 1, subsection 2C of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1044. And conspiracy to commit money laundering, contrary to Section 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1020. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, as part of the oral agenda, I have ordered that a comprehensive investigation of the assets of these persons be conducted. That investigation is ongoing, and we shall be pursuing the suspect to retrieve funds attributable to them and assets they have acquired using those funds.
National Service Ghost Names.
Of course.
And say, among for disika.
Yeah.
Among for so sika.
Yeah.
Say, oh my Ghana, ya danso, ya na guamontin.
Of course.
Young politicians, no, and the say no more ye.
Say ya.
But then, Gifty Oware case, no.
Yeah.
And Penifon Shishamuye.
Of course.
Because minimum top politicians be a
Yeah.
Gifty Oware going to win Nisika way.
Okay.
Yes, intino woman san hwehwemu ye.
Okay.
Na ebia na MPs bi any minister bi ehwase. But then Mustafa Yusuf so ni die piem.
I'm not surprised.
Na de na manfo hwe Nana B. Say Nana B din be piem, but ense Nana B is smart ho.
Of course.
Say o lawyer.
A lawyer.
Enti o this can wo wies can kwa no a obey according to.
Yeah, na enye lawyer ni bia ni nim yansa. Give to Oware kunu a lawyer. And so ordinary one ko sha asem wi.
Asem.
E wata wonu made ba ko.
Dabi
Omo ana omo ka se eye political witch hunting. Ora no eye propaganda omo pese omo di gu MPP fo anim ase no. Aha na so omo twem adwen ba so. Na be one person na di dan krofa no se ye be chi na be because mampani ka say na be at this informing Ghana for ti be chi no. Enti ekwa se
eno de nya ha.
Yeah, of course. Enti ekoba say issue we na be aye adwuma wo National Service Secretary to da no. Na amanfo atwen say eba pe na be wom. But you see something. What way e di address say clearly. Say o serve one na dan kwaku fado aban mu a eno ntrese chinchina ye be chew. Asem ni say obi a o serve one na do aban mu a obokro no e na ora any justice any ni ebedi.
But na be di amanfo say ne de ebeba chei.
Well, director, we live to see. Yeah, dear, young to so be also. But the point is, so what your money see come quadia, a man will come after you. Okay. Director, me person me shall say edi free give to Oware. Yeah. Director, give to Oware issue. Said you now work and me know ya again say investigations, you know, and you know, Chris or my and I agree with them. But still, them to say I was say it was because a lot of people they involved. But baby, I am say give to Oware as individual. Okoko head National Service Secretariat. Na say as director of and as a deputy director of National Service. Onkwa to me a National Service din a secure loan over 30 million Ghana cedis. Oh, director, and say
I'll say give to Oware mention used NSS allowance as collateral to secure 30 million Ghana loan from ADB.
Right, and
deal na 30 million crown mfanko old currency no
old currency in the best 300 billion
eno na broche for no beti ase
mo international service for no mo musika 500 cedis 1000 cedis a month ya sika ni timi lock nemba na mo kire mo na mo su no obi di omo din akwakoji loan sika ni 300 billion e di agu na account sum odidi. The person is very okay. Say you na you say ye kwoti give to Oware we dwan we tu kwan nti ye twen wo airport obesi airport ye be chi na afanyo markets ni MP before be say omo ntia say me enchi give to Oware a political witch hunting. Right, you look at this situation. International service for no enye give to Oware mobo give to Oware okwa be a company and a company na we be no odi omo a omo details e what National Service Office wa omo nim ho hwe odi omo dia bie company owie ye no e na wo say company no omo omo ya ne say omo the electrical appliances efira mo no ne ba no omo be supply dia National Service personnel no omo twa ne kakra National Service ni na ye man 1000 Ghana a month onyanya adwuma e dan kura woni bi odi ni sika 1000 Ghana no yeah, oh yeah, 1 year penal or the quarter electrical plan.
Now, National Service ni be we. Na so much man 1 year pay.
1 year.
O ko serve about 1 year.
1 year.
The 1 year no National Service ni no kaso kwaje bosia. Sisi ka be no de betua. 1 year ni nyina no. Wo de se I think said 700 750.
750.
It is 750 cedis. 1 year ni nyina say.
1 year ni nyina say. 1 year ni nyina say. It is not even more than 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now we catch us any pan say assuming so bit Tamale. When we university or Kenya University, until say or move back to Tamale. National Service Edna by be Ashanti region game and Upper West region. Sandy Panaquat now no say on follow on kwaji electrical appliances on jiji fridge and yemaniema no on fan kuku dino crowd kwaji and be home poa or call with me kabum and maya best 3 no much time back national service for no mutim said ye baya at least o musika e beso wo mo the matter ye hu san crofo we mobo ya just as Canada ama wo kunu etima duachi akọ bank ho akọ jinam as a member of the company na musini ama majisika wo yedi we are prosecuting this person obisi on TSA because NPP ni and NDC aban na prosecute and unti politics but this has nothing to do with politics but Mustafa Yusuf there I'm not surprised
no sir so we say omoya mienson Mustafa Yusuf and osai asibantwi
right
and Gifty Oware
right even Mr. Jaino, later Nijiba Mubi. Until it is only Nanabi, and from 2017, BBC 2024, or Moya Director Generals, or Moya Directors, Niji Amam. The writer, before say, even Mustafa Yusuf, the writer, there is one issue about Osesibi. The writer, Shadia, Osesibi, what divertisika from NSS accounts, and they are called personal bank accounts. The writer, assembly dance, a tribute dance here. Obi tifie oye ye ni mobrani ti seme o say si be ye political party be a member 1890 for tata no enso so wa divert sika de kogu ono an personal bank account suma bank no ena before call ho no o me di details na mo say ampa wa divert sika say every ya ha e de call e switch for account wim o mo call ni fie evidence na credit card ya sa account number na was so na sa credit card in the fie ho did they pick this no be about here ni but say me na o defended this person they want to sika what divert dia ko over 10 million Ghana cedis said they will say yen kan sika da rumo over 100 billion sa sika no say em yede ma here format say ya it could have solved a lot of your problems but sika ne ko sani pa no o see yen defended no the issue is Omeja Padie, I'm told to say investigators necessarily say Omuguso tracking Omeja Padie. Yeah, Omo person in the trial. You best see Omeja Padie said ye beya after trial. Ye na omine dibima. Ye G Sika. Sikani na Madia. And a young Tomeja Padie no. Na yem fanti ekano. Said ye beya Ghana so ye Sika akamuno. Rata.
Now, was it top level management of NSS and their accomplice suffered a total of Sikawe de Mintimudi.
Roger Sikano in ye.
Na Sikawe no, I also Sikawe in Ira.
Roger Sikawe in Ira. Aha, inti Yanyaza example Kitwebi. Rata sa 548 million Ghana cedis no. Yenyi de da so nsin che say 548.
So ehunahuna mi o. Na sika we meda bodi.
Aha. Inti 548 million Ghana cedis no. Sa 333,000 no kwa de yenyi nsin che. Inti 548 no. Rata assuming say sika we ye de ko sika dada ni mu a. Rata it is up to sika 5 trillion. Inti imagine. Sika we ya in 6 years. Na obi say
no man beda yeye
mo yeye sika we manenka
sika ne sori ya ne akwakobo busia wo mrofo no ho na nipa baako abetena se di sika
we just national service
asa
ade nyina nim say sectors akese ho sika papa bi fa ho e national service it is a national service in 6 years from 2018 2019 ababesi 2023 2024 there right any adanse o hope say other sectors ne de e chekure
na say the records ne che no year bia no sika yira ho
right say 2018 2019 25 million 613,962 Ghana cedis na 2019 2020 and 12 was the last one 2023 2024 no 32 million 881,157 cedis na omo de coins kitu ebia sa tato this are money samuvia na se obi ye wedwie na ye prosecute na ye mpese ye beti se obi gina baabi se ye political witch hunting ye na mra ne sankrofo enya adwuma these are criminals you better when me ye awidifo a oman no se etwa so che omo sa oman ne bebo and the best thing I Ghana for nyame de ma ye ne se na after 2024 election year na ye kwa abato so because sekaya nkoto aba better who knows Sabat 2024 and anaka sankrofo be kito mo positions for the next 5 years and kadie ne bisi are issues are a switch here.
Also nkrofo ko jail.
Right, of course.
Also omodi nipa bi tum say be best set example.
Assembly
nyina. E dey ama appointees a wo mu hoyi.
Assembly nyina no. E na enye na mu keke.
Dabi.
Right, the punishment have to be severe. Assembly ne say sika na ya hwere no. We need to get the money back because okuja to ablakwa na oye head of the oral team na omo de sa info we nyina e ma attorney general ono so hand it over edema national first investigation bureau for right I say ye betima recover sika over $21 billion stolen monies any ejapade ahodo it say na ampa feel free say ya chance ye enya evidence upon evidence on this issue right ye hear hwibiem dey hear ne say at the end of the day assembly court say assembly court right the issue have to be fast ye pesa assembly court na court to say oh ye to assembly share in the next 4 months ye be say court they say the assembly 6 months right they say court assembly a process and according to attorney general no encrophobia ho no ye adwuma national service secretariat hobi ebum ye former directors omo je to mu say the course no they weren't involved no omo shede nim hu bisa but omo nso no omo je kakra omo nim no right omo provide evidence and omo ye ready say court ho no omo be kwa kodi adanse but ade ba ko ne say ye wo obi ho a onye reliable sa right oye involved eye ne nkrofo ade no oka ho bi but afidie na nyi no enti obekwa akodi adanse na enya adanse papa bi na okwa akodi but ye won crofo genuinely said the oral for the kind say omo investigation amanfo de beto omo nim say sika bi afoma bedi omo bokro no but genuinely omo ku say omo anya de omo pese omo di sika no esan baba and according to attorney general no yet say amanfo bi e national service omo susu say the course no omo de on be returning nyama e ba omo ho no na omo ye free right yet why obetani say obi say bi share business as na mdwe 3,000 Ghana cedis
na obetimi akwa di sika we wo ye say oh USA ye pe kwan ko ho ye say UK ye pe say ko ye adwuma diska ba fie enti sa oman we no senka omo di sika me ho da wo say ya nka omo man nke be ye
sem ni nyina no
ye be so oman ye enso ye sori ya mpanimfo no sika die na ayo
I'm sure esoro hofo na omo say ye pese o man ye nto abama o no munye o man ye no krono ni sikadie nko a e fom ni na ono nso se ye mo emmoa ma o man nye ye no ono nso so te ho eso oni na bo krono na ye ka no e fom ni ne se ade na mo ka panyini we yasem pani we ye minipa e ma mo nka na sem right say ne be ye dia o man enye ye it's up to every single Ghanaian say research na ye ka ho asem no aha ne wo right emra say ye sha ubon so obi abachi say an emra ne de ye pa ye hyemra but ye hyemra ne wie no obi ko fom na afia de mra ne dina bo hu na nkrofo pachaw en ye sere wo mu say wa fom de but at this time enye wa fom de bi asem bia
na de me yakra gift oware ni kunu be ma wo hwe oba so be ma wo ware oba wo kan oba no na mo say bokro no ene say ba mo mienu nyina na mekwa akodem ananse adubu ahine ne yire so mu mienu nyina na edi ko akoni
aba ne yire shema na onya bill inti gift oware nso so say adubu ahine do na de ne yire ko ye we so gift oware nso di ni kunu ko inti at the end of the day omaja pade e wo ho no the government will take it court emayenye nsaka omukọ prisoner ombetima ato aware ne so prison but nobody cares
also obi timi dam prison ni also obi timi ko
enye say obi baby aga na aduru no aban we ennei baby aye ni aban ni gina nsema ni aban ni ka no e very simple aban no wo na wo ka kire ye say akromfo na wo system ni mu no obaboa ya me ya che wo mu and oba ye no genuinely what shall say e ye ho adwuma say ye wie na wo say obi nkodem ye mfa wo ntuma right at the end of the day yen as Ghanaians yen kase be yi aban na simchen obi o ye involve bia no yen kase be deal with sankrofon one after the other and yenim say aban no odimra be ye adwuma obi o ye involve bia mra ne nibedi but o says be give to Oware Mustafa Yusuf right
ne hono ense question mark bi e wo
say ono
of course sports ministry hono ense eniema oye no hono sika odi no hono anya na no na beto dwa se oso de $1 million e de ama GTV say omo nko twa ade
15 million
and GTV for no so be dina story ni say omo san ka seska no nti ono ba bi obeko bia no na wo diska and wasa ko diska wa ha say nti nipa ba ko ministry bi aboko bia u diska ho
say
na say wo ye konfo
o ye konfo because sports ministry ho ya te say no so he's under investigation okodi din komo bi ewo me say investigators ni mo koye no okodi nkomo bebre te say de wo kai okodi nkomo bebre even all African games aduana ye no aye or the akwhye nkrofo bi say san nkrofo no mo sa chase at the end of the day ye nsuma obi a ye de office ne ma wo no na asamasi yire eni ho ye de office no ma Mustafa Yusuf say on share in as sports minister no na obi ayire nyina ho bi ya fa adwuma na ma obi yire at the end of the day be yen contact try ye enti say ye wie na obeti keno forata obusuafo say omo twelete de akwakoma interpol for say de OSP ni oman ne ye no enye right na right aha and also what you say these are criminals ya ye ni omo oman ni omo bokro no to the extent say kronobo no enye omo de foforo biem it is normal for them right enti me hwe mane nto aso this is the last stop aha and was a change a chance after this year change beto aso
young consummers here, I right time media, I cry for you now.